welcome back to the Wooded Wonderland. It has been a really long time, probably like a year since I last made a video, and I intend to change that. I have come in quite impulsively today without a script. Microphone is actually still charging, so we'll see how this goes without that. So I'm here today because upon a lot of reflection, I think I have figured out what I want to do with my life for the most part, and I kind of shut down. I stopped posting on Instagram, I stopped posting on Facebook, I stopped posting on YouTube, and I think a lot of what caused me to kind of shut down was trying to fit into this niche I'd created for myself with health and wellness, primarily kind of focused on women's health and menstruation, menopause, things like that. And whilst yes, I love all that stuff, it became really overwhelming trying to constantly think of new things when there's so many people out there already doing that. And it got to the point where I was like, well, you know what, this isn't really bringing joy. It wasn't, what's the word? It wasn't like making me want to actually do it. And instead of pivoting at that kind of point, I shut down for months and I kind of just stopped doing anything. I kind of retreated into myself and I hyperfixated on different things. Like for a very long period, I spent every day playing Minecraft until I burnt myself out there. And then I spent a whole lot of time just reading every spare moment. I'd stay up late at night. I'd read as soon as I got out of bed. I would just read. And then thankfully, that cycle has actually come about a couple of times. I do tend to hyperfixate on really good books, and I think most people do, but I'd finish the book and then start another one because I have them all on my iPad, which is really convenient sometimes, especially at night. And then my kind of default when I'm feeling unmotivated and down is to craft. And that I feel less guilty about because I'm being productive and I'm trying to work on, making enough to be able to sell it and try and make an income to help support our family. So my husband's not doing everything himself. And if I can, eventually build up enough of an audience and a following to cover basic things like groceries and trips to the pharmacy, and that would be amazing. But we'll work on that. Good things take time, and there's fluff in my face. So yeah, I'm on a journey to essentially find myself, connect, within, with crafting, gardening and herbs, which are more things that have just been completely forgotten. At the moment, I couldn't even show you my garden even if I wanted to because it's been raining for like 5 days straight. It is currently pouring down at the moment. The sun will come out for a few minutes and then it will start again. It's just been a great cycle today. But I haven't connected with my own spiritual path or anything like that, and all I end up doing is just reading, and then I don't actually do anything. So it's not benefiting me in the way that I'd like. And so I thought, let's get back on the YouTube, get behind the camera, and actually start holding myself accountable. I filmed plenty of things last year. I never got around to posting them, and I damn well filmed them to make myself accountable. And one day I might go back through it all and actually post it because I did like what I had filmed. But I just, when I got hit that wall, I stopped posting anything, and it sucks because my phone is still, and my hard drive, everything's still full of all these videos, but no one's gotten to see them. I haven't even rewatched them, so maybe that should be a task. I don't want to make myself accountable for that yet, but maybe I just will. But anyway, so I thought today would be the day to actually start being proactive again. I have been kind of being more proactive lately. Like, I haven't been stagnant all year, mostly, but it has been a very stagnant year with very little personal growth, very little aside from just the daily motions, just surviving, just doing what I need to do, showing up to what I need to show up to. And I have been lost, and I have felt lost for ages. And there is a snippet that I will be inserting in here. It's somewhere of a little journey I went into the backyard, but I had mentioned in that little snippet that we lost one of my cats at the end of May after becoming sick in March, and I was hoping he would make it longer, but it got to the point where it was cruel to keep him alive, it was expensive to keep him alive, and it was time to say goodbye, and that was hard. But I was convinced after talking to my sister and some friends that I was going to be an absolute wreck, and I was for a couple of days, but then something just switched, and after that happened, that's kind of what pulled me back out of the slump I've been in all year. So maybe I didn't completely write myself off because I'd already written myself off all year. And so since then, I've started trying to get to the bottom of what is going on in here and in here and just everywhere, and trying to work out what I can do to find myself again. So I've been journaling and meditating and really just trying to connect with myself and my craft, and trying to work out where it all fits so I can learn, but not just sit there and read a book, and actually start doing. And so with the new kind of journaling and working out my feelings and what's been going on, I've started, looking after myself in different ways, the eating better in ways that I know my body appreciates, trying to move. But of course, Murphy's Law, when I first tried to set up movement, I tried in April. The goal was to start walking the kids to school when the new school term started, and in the last week of the holidays, I fell down my steps and sprained my ankle, and now just over 2 months later, it's still upset, but I can move again. But I was really, really upset, and I got really down in the dumps and started eating like crap. I just got so lazy and so down, and then of course with the cat being sick as well, I ran out of storage, so I had to rewatch everything to figure out what I had talked about. So yeah, once the cat got sick, that paired with my injury, there was no motivation to do anything, and then once he passed, everything kind of just started like falling into place. Like, I've got pretty good like intuition and things like that, but I can't see, friends and family or our furry friends who have passed. But I wonder if he's somehow there spurring me on. And yeah, because since that time, I spent the kind of days following creating a macrame backpack, which I wear every day now. And at first I called it my sad backpack, but now it's my cat backpack, because that's kind of what distracted me and got me through. And I used that time you know, just to work through my feelings. And so since then I've done journaling, I've gotten back into my tarot readings and trying to learn how to interpret the cards, meditation, I've set up an altar space, and I'm ready to let go of those insecurities, the self-doubt, the lack of confidence, the barriers that I have put up for myself, so I can be me and be authentic instead of narrowing myself into like that small niche that I had tried to do. I just want to essentially document all the things that make me happy. So that would be like my gardening, my herbs, my tea rituals, my decorating, my plants, my different projects, perhaps even my gaming. I don't know, that's a whole different kettle of fish there. But all of these different things that spur me on, and perhaps work with the hyperfixation type things. I can't remember if I did mention it previously in the video, but I'm 99% sure there's some undiagnosed ADHD, and I either hyperfixate on things or I ignore things that are blatantly obvious, and every day it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And I get like that with so many things if it's not immediately going to bring me joy. And that's why I've defaulted back to macrame for the most part, because it's pretty easy to get that satisfaction of completing a project fairly quickly. Anything that's not a quick project is technically still ongoing, and I've started a project that has been sitting all year. Oh my goodness, I need to get that finished. I will get that finished. But my bracket to hold it is in the rain, so I need to work on that. But yeah, like I'm recognizing my flaws and my barriers, and I'm working through all of them, getting myself into a better mindset about just life in general, taking risks, taking punts, and trying to become the best version of myself without having anyone tell me what to do. And a whole lot of that is going to be working on structure, but I can't work with too much structure. I can't work with anything I can't see, because if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. And so many things I forget about. I put them away and I forget. Like, I've got a million notebooks, which turned into me starting to learn how to bind a book yesterday, and I might have to pause this because it's hosing down. But I have a million notebooks. They were all put away, organised in a cupboard. But I didn't touch them purely because I didn't see them. So now I've got like 10 notebooks floating around. So I use them because I can see them. And I'm like that with structure. I've tried to do like a detailed timetable, allocating different times to different things. But then my brain was like, no, you feel like you're at school or you're at work, having to adopt a strict regime. So now I've kind of got some loose guidelines with like set to-dos each day that are important. You know, mundane things like cleaning the loo or ringing a doctor about something. Like, there's just simple things, but also giving myself that time to meditate, journal, tarot, craft, and obviously the day-to-day running of the house is included in there somewhere. I usually tend to do jobs when I have to get up and use the loo. I find that that's really good motivation. Be like, oh, I've got to get up, put my crafts down, run to the loo, fold some washing. Like, that's I kind of pair those types of things together because I've got to get up anyway. But yeah, so many different digressions, but that's just how I roll. So I appreciate you all for being here. Hopefully this is actually recorded this time. I'm planning on figuring out where I want to go, what I want to document, and I will be inserting, like I mentioned before, the backyard walk and anything else that gives me joy. Interesting. It's like a white geranium. What on earth? I haven't been down here for a long time. Between injuries and winter, there has been zero desire. But we're back. And that majestic sun where Marco is amazing. Yes, buddy. I'm here. Yeah. Suppose he freaks out when he wakes up and I'm not anywhere to be seen. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Where do you want to go? We can't just spend all day here even though it is glorious. Look how big my kawa has gotten. There's heaps. Forgot to look at it when I was down there. It's just so idyllic. And I take it for granted because I live here. He comes down every day. Yeah. It's been a funny old time for me lately. In a funk. Just doing a bare minimum each day. And I don't know why. There is a lot of fatigue each day. But sometimes, like today, just got to push through. And then come down and actually enjoy all this. My mind has been riddled with a lot of self-doubt. And all those types of things. And I guess they just eventually just weigh me down. And I just haven't wanted to partake in anything. I've been doing a lot of crafting, which helps keep me from being in a total slump. But sometimes I need to just step out of that comfort zone, come outside, enjoy the sun. Although back in April, I sprained my ankle really bad, which has meant no traversing this landscape. It's a bog, apart from the spot we have found. It is beautiful, obviously judging by the claw marks on this tree. Somebody loves it a lot. But also recently I lost my other cat. But then instead of sending me deeper into a slump, it's actually, I think, what has spurred me to actually get back on track, follow my path, and be me again. Because it is easy just to live day by day without actually experiencing each day. I think it's important to recognize that you're in a state and actually hop out of it. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is Jordan from the Wooded Wonderland, and I'll see you next time.